Who is Snit Habteab, the Eritrean woman making Miss World history? Before we get into the story, if you're interested in Ethiopia, Eritrea, the Horn of Africa and stories making headlines around the world, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. Now, who is Snit Habteab? You may have recently seen her name appearing across social media, particularly among Eritrean communities around the world. She is beautiful, confident, and representing Eritrea on one of the world's biggest international beauty stages. But there is much more to Snit Habteab than a crown, a sash, and a beauty pageant. She is a scientist. She is an educator. She is an advocate for children with disabilities. She has already made history in international beauty competitions. And now, she is making history again. Snit Habteab is the first woman to represent Eritrea at Miss World. So, who exactly is this Eritrean woman attracting so much attention? What is her story? What does she stand for? And why are so many Eritreans around the world rallying behind her? Let's find out.
Salam. I am Snit Habteab, the first ever Miss World Eritrea 2026.
For Eritrea, Snit's participation at Miss World is historic. Eritrea has never previously had a contestant at the Miss World competition. That means when Snit walks onto the Miss World stage, she isn't simply representing herself. She is representing a country making its debut at one of the world's most famous beauty competitions. And that has created excitement among Eritreans both inside the country and across the diaspora. For many supporters, seeing the Eritrean flag at Miss World is significant in itself. But Snit's story becomes even more interesting when you look beyond the pageant, because her background is very different from the stereotypical image of a beauty queen. She has an academic background in neuroscience. She has worked in education. And she has developed a strong interest in disability advocacy. So how did she get here? Snit Habteab was born and raised in Asmara, Eritrea's capital. Asmara is known for its distinctive architecture, rich cultural history and unique atmosphere. It is also the city where Snit's journey began. But her ambitions eventually took her beyond Eritrea. She studied neuroscience at George Mason University in the United States. That academic background is one of the things that distinguishes Snit's story. While many people may associate international pageants primarily with fashion and modeling, Snit has pursued an academic and professional path in science and education. And she has also developed a passion for working with children. She became a Montessori educator, combining education with her interest in child development. But there is another deeply personal part of her story. Snit's advocacy for children with disabilities is not simply a campaign slogan. It has a personal connection. Her younger sister was born with Down syndrome. Growing up with a sibling with a developmental disability helped shape Snit's understanding of inclusion and the challenges faced by families. And it eventually became part of the cause she wanted to promote publicly. Her message is simple but powerful. Children with disabilities should not be excluded from education or from society. They should have opportunities to learn, develop, and participate alongside other children. This became central to her Beauty with a Purpose project at Miss World. Her project is called Designing for Diversity. The focus is on inclusive education and creating environments where children with different abilities can learn and participate. And this is where Snit's Miss World journey becomes more than a beauty competition. The international stage gives her an opportunity to talk about an issue that affects millions of families around the world. Miss World is not actually Snit's first experience on an international pageant stage. She previously represented Eritrea at Miss Universe 2024. And before that, in 2023, she made another piece of history by becoming the first Eritrean to win Miss Africa USA. So there is a pattern here. Snit appears to be comfortable breaking new ground. Miss Africa USA, Miss Universe, and now Miss World. Each competition has given her another international platform to represent Eritrea. But Miss World is particularly significant, because this is Eritrea's first appearance at the competition. And Snit isn't arriving without experience. She already knows what it means to carry the name of Eritrea onto a global stage. There is another reason Snit's profile has attracted attention. Her interests extend well beyond pageantry. She speaks Tigrinya, English and Italian. She has an interest in sports and has played basketball and tennis. She also practices kickboxing. And then there is her work as an educator and advocate. Put all of these things together, and a different picture begins to emerge. Snit isn't presenting herself simply as a model. She is presenting herself as an educated Eritrean woman with an interest in science, education, and social issues. And that matters because international beauty competitions have changed. Today's contestants are increasingly expected to have something to say. They are expected to represent causes. They are expected to connect with audiences. And they are expected to use their visibility to make an impact. Snit's story fits naturally into that changing model of the modern beauty queen. So why has Snit generated so much excitement among Eritreans? The answer is partly simple. Representation matters. For the first time, Eritrea has a woman carrying its name into the Miss World competition. For Eritreans living around the world, that provides an opportunity to rally around something positive. Social media has amplified that support. Eritreans in different countries can follow Snit's journey, share her photographs and videos, and encourage others to support her. And this is where the Miss World voting competition becomes particularly interesting. Because on the same stage, Ethiopia also has a representative, Ruth Yirgalem. And Ethiopian supporters are also mobilizing behind their contestant. Suddenly, the Miss World competition has created a friendly Ethiopia-Eritrea rivalry online. Ethiopia versus Eritrea. Ruth versus Snit. 2 countries. 2 representatives. 1 international stage. Of course, Ethiopia and Eritrea have a complicated history. The 2 countries were once politically connected. They later became independent states. They experienced a devastating war, and their political relationship has remained complicated. But beyond politics, ordinary Ethiopians and Eritreans continue to share deep cultural connections, family connections, music, food, language, history, and culture. Now, a beauty competition is creating another point of connection. Instead of arguing about politics, people are debating something very different. Who has the better representative? Some are supporting Ruth, others are supporting Snit. And while the rivalry can become passionate, it can also be seen as a celebration of 2 women from the Horn of Africa competing on a global stage. For Snit, however, the crown may not be the only goal. Her Beauty with a Purpose project puts inclusion at the center of her Miss World journey. Her message is that children with disabilities deserve access to education and opportunities. And that gives her international visibility a purpose beyond the competition itself. Imagine a child with a disability watching Snit on the Miss World stage. Or a parent who has struggled to find inclusive education for their child. Or an educator who wants to create a more inclusive classroom. That is the kind of audience Snit's message can reach, and that may ultimately become one of the most important parts of her Miss World journey. So, who is Snit Habteab? She is an Eritrean woman from Asmara, a scientist, an educator, an advocate, a former international pageant contestant, and now a history maker. She is the first Eritrean woman to represent her country at Miss World. But perhaps her most important achievement will not be measured by whether she wins the crown. It may be measured by how many people hear her message about inclusion and education. And as she carries the Eritrean flag onto the international stage, thousands of Eritreans around the world are watching. At the same time, Ethiopia has its own representative, Ruth Yirgalem, and Ethiopian supporters are equally determined to see their queen succeed. So the friendly rivalry continues. Who has your support? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe and share this video. because the Horn of Africa is getting attention on the Miss World stage. And this story is only beginning. Snit Habteab, Eritrea's history maker at Miss World 2026.